Hi, I'm Katie Halcrow with Power Up Prep, and I'm super excited today to take you through some tips and strategies to help you power up your ACT. If this is your first time with us, first, welcome. Second, check out the link below. There, you're going to find the ACT questions and the note sheets that you can do along with these videos. All right, so let's get those materials together, and we're going to be ready to power up. All right, you made it through. Great work. We did the English section, we did the reading section, we did the science section, we did the math section. You completed everything. You've got your worksheets filled out. You know your strategies. I'm really excited for you because these strategies are going to help you do well on the ACT exam. So the only thing I'm also going to tell you is that your work isn't completely done. You've done an excellent job. I'm really proud of all that you've accomplished, but in order to fully prepare for the ACT, you need to do a little bit more. Whenever I work with my private students, I have them take a minimum of 5 to 6 full-length ACT tests before going in for the exam. And the reason for this is that it helps you practice the content that we've just covered so you can apply it, you can see what you're getting wrong, you can go back and correct it, you can get it right the next time. Like, it's just going to be constant improvement, right? Practice makes almost perfect. Practice doesn't ever make perfect, but it can really help you improve. So what you want to do is make sure that you're practicing these by taking real ACT tests. So where are you going to find these real ACT tests? You're going to find these real ACT tests online. ACT.org, if you sign up, does have a free test that they offer just through ACT.org. By making an account, anyone can access. They also, the ACT also produces books for ACT tests. And then you can also find tests, full-length tests online. You can do this by Google searching a specific test month and year online. And we will also on our website try and post some helpful links for you and have additional resources for finding these ACT tests. All of those have real ACT tests, and that's an important feature because if it's like a knockoff test, it's a testing agency or organization that makes a test that's kind of like the test, but it's not exactly the test, then the strategies aren't going to apply the exact same way because the questions are not exactly like they are on the ACT. The ACT is very specific about the question types they have, and these strategies that I've just given you are honed in on those specific question types. So if you use a different test by a different test maker, it's not going to apply the exact same way. So in order to be most effective, just make sure you're only using real ACT tests. Okay, number 2, when you're taking those tests, unless your ACT is going to be computer-based, I want you to print off the test and also print off a scantron sheet. So like a place where you bubble in the answers, because you want it to be as test-like as possible. Along with that is rule number 3 when you're taking ACT tests, and that's you need to time yourself accurately. So you can use any noiseless timer you want, but you cannot use your phone. The reason you can't use your phone is because you won't be able to use your phone when you're in the actual exam. And so I've worked with students who have used their phone to time themselves for taking the ACT test. But when they go into the exam, they don't have their phone, and so then they're thrown off because they don't know how much time has passed because they don't have another noiseless timer they can use. So what you're going to do is find a noiseless timer you can use. There are inexpensive noiseless timers you can buy on Amazon. I'll put a link in below. Or you can even use just a watch like that has the hands on it that doesn't beep or make other noises. So if you use that watch with the hands on it, what I would recommend is setting it to noon or midnight at the beginning of each test so that, like, if you're taking the English test, you need 45 minutes for taking the English test. So if it's at noon, you know at 12:45 you're going to be done. For math, if you start at noon, you know at 1 o'clock you're going to be done. Then you put it back to noon for the reading section, and you know at 12:35 you're going to be done. So that can really help you when you're pacing yourself for taking the ACT test. And then whatever noiseless timer you're using when you're taking the test, you can use when you go into the test as well. Okay, So then, rule number 4, use a calculator only on the math section. You may not use a calculator on the science section. And sometimes people forget that. They think that they can use a calculator on the science, but you can't use a calculator on the science. The good news about the science is they give you easy numbers, so you shouldn't need to use a calculator on the science test. While it would be nice to have, it's not a necessity, but that also is kind of a helpful hint for the science section. So if they give you numbers that you have to manipulate for science, you're not going to be doing anything totally dramatic with them because they have to give you easy numbers. So if they give you 2 numbers, you're probably either going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide the numbers. And so that can help you with finding the right answer choice as well. Okay. Number 5, when you're taking the test, do not have on music, don't wear earplugs, etc. You want to take the test in the exact same type of environment that you're going to use when you're actually taking the ACT for real. So you're not going to be able to have your earbuds in or AirPods in and be listening to music. You're not going to be able to have earplugs to drown out the rest of the noise. You just have to take it like you're going to take it on the actual ACT exam. That said, you also want to try and be in a quieter space. So if at all possible, not having distractions when you're taking the test is important. And that includes your phone, because your phone is a distraction. Like if it goes off, then you want to answer it. You might get distracted from taking the test, etc. So you want to just be able to concentrate. Number 6, don't eat anything or drink anything during the ACT. And you also are not allowed to go to the bathroom in the middle. So you want to do it exactly like you're doing it on the test. So you can't eat any food, you can't drink any water or juice or whatever you want to drink. So when you're taking the ACT test, you want to take it exactly the same way. And then along with that, you're going to take the test using only the breaks that the ACT gives you, and you're going to take it all at once. So that means that you're going to take the reading and the English and the math back to back, and then take a 20-minute break, and then you're going to take the reading and the science back to back. The reason you're going to do that is because it's training your brain. The ACT test is long. It takes a lot of brain power to do. It's like 3.5 hours of concentration. So you need to train up your brain just like you train if you're going to be an athlete or if you're going to run a marathon. So you have to train up for that. And so that's another reason that taking so many practice tests is helpful, because it helps your brain train for that type of concentration. Then the last thing is take the test in the morning, if at all possible. So the reason that you're going to take the test in the morning is because you're going to take the ACT in the morning. The ACT, you have to arrive at the testing center at 8 a.m. So you want to get your body used to waking up and then taking an ACT. So if at all possible, not only are you taking it in a quiet environment, but you're also going to be taking it early in the morning. Like first thing when you wake up. If you don't want to wake up at 8 o'clock to take the test on a Saturday, I understand, but maybe you wake up at like 9 or 10, and then within the first 30 minutes of waking up, you take that test. All right, so those are my rules for test taking. That's what I'm going to leave you with for our whole ACT curriculum. You did a great job. I was really happy to be part of your learning process. And just stick around. We're going to continue to put up some videos that will help you for like day of the test or any additional strategies that we have along the way. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them below. We love to hear from you. Also, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of our curriculum or other tips and tricks that can help you power up your ACT.